Welcome dear learners. Today in this session we are going to deal with the topic Sacred Religion. This lecture has been developed based on selected references available. It has been divided into the following subtitles, namely views on religion expressed by various scholars, forms of religion in tribal and peasant societies, further discussion as the cases. Shall we now go to the topic? Dear learners, as an objectives of this lecture, learners will enable to understand what is sacred religion, to discuss the views of Durkheim and Malinowski on religion, to understand the different concept of religion, animism, animatism, fetishism, naturism and totemism. We will now go to the topic. The word religion have been derived from the Latin root word religia, which means to bind together, and religion actually does it. It has played the most profound influence over human thought since the ancient past. Religion is a cultural universal, although specific beliefs and practices vary significantly from one society to another. For example, some religions are based on the worshipping of an all-knowing, all-powerful supreme being, whereas others have many deities. There are some other religions without deities at all. All religion has an underlying belief, that is, the proper performance of religious practices or observances would result in specific benefits, health, long life, children, materials well-being, success in hunting, rain, good crops, victory in war, etc. There is no single definition of religion that has universal application. British anthropologist E.B. Taylor has given the minimal definition of religion as a belief in spiritual beings. According to the French sociologist Emile Durkheim, a religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things, that is to say, things set apart and forbidden beliefs and practices which unite into one single moral community called a church, all those who adhere to them. Durkheim emphasizes on three aspects of religion: social context, the sacred aspect and moral basis. Religion expresses beliefs of a society about the universe. It consists only of sacred phenomena as it is concerned with an extraordinary supernatural world. Religion has a moral basis because it imposes a moral pressure upon people and directs people to do right things only. F.C. Wallace defines religion as the beliefs and practices concerned with supernatural beings, powers and forces. It is clear that religious belief in one kind or other exists all over the world. Durkheim, in his famous book Elementary Form of Religious Life, written in 1912, used two important concepts, that is sacred and profane, which are still used and debated all over the world in the study of primitive religion. Durkheim considered these two concepts as central to understanding of religion. He also says that the sacred is ideal and transcends everyday existence. It is extraordinary, potentially dangerous, awe-inspiring, fear-inducing. The sacred refers to things set apart by man, including religious beliefs, rights, duties, or anything socially defined as requiring special religious treatment. Almost anything can be sacred: a god, a rock, across the moon, the earth, a tree, an animal or bird, etc. These are sacred only because some community has marked them as sacred. Once established as sacred, they become symbols of religious beliefs, sentiments, and practices. For example, the shroud of Thorin would be a sacred object which is treated with respect, and pilgrimages to this object are ways of strengthening religious beliefs. However, it must be noted that these objects may not be intrinsically special, but rather special meaning is attached to the object by the social group. Durkheim's views on religion. French sociologist Émile Durkheim was one of the first theorists to study religion as a social institution. In his 1912 book, which already stated the elementary forms of religious life, Durkheim defined religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. That means things set apart and forbidden beliefs and practices which unite in one single moral community called a church, all those who adhere to them. Durkheim considered how religion creates an understanding of sacred and the profane. Durkheim's definition of the sacred refers to objects, symbols, and ideas that are awe-inspiring, unexplainable, and spiritually significant. His definition of the profane refers to practical objects and ideas of everyday life. Durkheim was not interested in proving or disproving religious beliefs. Rather, he was interested in the function religion serves in a group or society. Durkheim proposed that the dichotomy of the sacred and the profane, which means the non-sacred, means the apart from the sacred, characteristics the religion. He argued that classifying something as sacred is a social act. Durkheim's work has had a great deal of influence on the sociological approach to religion. One form of religion that interested Durkheim is totemism, a broad category of religions that includes many practiced by various African peoples, Australian Aborigines, and Native Americans. Totemism is the belief in a kinship or mystical relationship between humans and a totem, a natural object, animal, or plant believed to have a particular symbolic significance. Durkheim believed totemism was religion in its most elemental form. In his view, studying totemism could answer questions about religion's impact on social life, social structure, and social change. Durkheim argued that totemism serves several functions in society. It contributes to the development of a collective conscious set of generally accepted social rules, norms, values, and beliefs that have become embodied in institutions and form the basis of society. The next scholar, Malinowski, his view of religion has basically shown the functional value of religious ceremonies. In brief, he has surveyed the main items of religious acts and concludes that main types of religious acts have the following functions. The initiation ceremonies give a sacred character to traditional knowledge. The event of death in a primitive society sets in motion a pattern of religious acts which counteract the forces of fear and destruction. The rites associated with food, sacrifice, and totemistic belief bring the people in direct contact with powers which provide sustenance. Malinowski has used the method of providing concrete evidence for his views. Taking examples from his collection of data among Trobriand islanders, he has formulated the view that all religious ceremonies have a social side without which they do not or cannot exist. So, the social side of a religious ceremony is a necessary but not a sufficient condition. He emphasizes that we cannot understand religion without analyzing the individual mind. This is why we would find that he refers to the individual's state of mind at every stage of a religious ceremony. The next subsegment is forms of religion in tribal and peasant societies. Any people's religious life takes an external shape in their rituals and beliefs. The rites and rituals are what give religion life. Mere belief does not define religion. Every culture views supernatural power differently. Some religions hold because it has a specific shape and dimension. Anthropologists have developed the following notions for religious based on these ideas, such as animism, animatism, fetishism, naturism and totemism. Animism is the work of A.B. Tyler, may be found in his Primitive Culture, the first published in 1871 and the laterly adapted it was 1906. The notion was a component of a theory of primitive religion that attempted to explain the spiritual presence of humans, inanimate objects and even some animals and plants. The core of animism is conviction that every living thing contains a supra-physical being. Even after the physical form it is contained in collapses, this supernatural being continues to exist. This alleged supernatural being is liberated from bodily constraints after a person dies and is then free to roam without regard to time or space. In essence, Tyler animism is a belief in the spirits of the dead. It is the conviction that vitality exists in both living things and inanimate objects. An essential form of animism that is practiced by the majority of tribes is ancestral worship. For example, the Santals, an ethnic group of eastern India, worship the ancestor as family and village deities. In western India, the Bills believe in the survival of the dead and the soul continue to exist as a spirit. Again, they have numerous nature spirit like spirit of hill, stream, forest, etc. In Kerala, the Malayaran consider the ancestral spirits as symbol of deities. They believe that the dead ancestor in the form of deity we will protect their family. The next concept is animatism. Animatism is the most widespread idea among tribal peoples as compared to animism. According to animatism, there is some impersonal power behind every material thing besides living things. In Indian tribal religion, materials like bones, stones and feathers are worshipped to bring peace and prosperity. For R.R. Marett, animatism was the most rudimentary form of religion and refers to belief in some impersonal power behind every material object besides living beings. This impersonal power influences human and can also be controlled under certain conditions. Marett considered animatism to have existed even earlier to animism. Only later in the course of human evolution did people begin to consider the soul and other spiritual beings in relation to their theologies. For instance, stones and feathers are revered as having a magical power in the Bihar tribe. The earth mother's children are regarded as the stones. Even among the Ho people believed in an all prevailing life force and behind to please this spirit for their own benefits and betterment. Singh Bhongha is the name of their chief deity according to this belief. So, animatism is the faith is material things have a living soul. Fetishism is another concept in religion. Fetishism is derived from Portuguese word feoticus, meaning skillfully made object and defined as the belief in an object of having supernatural power for in particular human made object with power. It can be seen among Bondos tribe having a fetish Rajpat sword kept on banyan tree and believe that prayer of it will bring Rajput spirit in them. The German scholar and Indologist Max Müller was the main propounder of the theory of naturism. The primitive man was inspired by the natural phenomena to find out the reason behind some natural calamities and catastrophes. The origin of religion, according to Max Müller, lies in this attempt to explain and describe the reasons behind the implications of natural phenomena. For example, the Munda would go to the tops of hills and throw down stones of all sizes and shapes, so that the rumbling sound of stones falling would resemble the rumbling of thunder, and they believed that rains would follow. The hoe would burn fagots so that some may cover the sky resembling cloud, and they believe this symbolic symbolic cloud is capable of bringing real cloud and rain. Thus, the outward events that affect life have been explained and accounted for by primitive people on the basis of knowledge that they gained through experiences, and gradually this helped them to develop religion. Max Müller stressed the evolution of religion from naturalism through polytheism and to the current stage of monotheism. The concept of totemism as a form of religion was first formulated by John McLennan in the article The Worship of Animals and Plants between 1869 to 1870. The term totemism is derived from the word Obidwa, Ototman, meaning one's brother, sister, kin. Totemism refers to sort of supernaturalism that is related to with a tribe social structure of the Sib or clan pattern and includes a characteristic attitudes towards animals, plants or other natural items. Totems have connections to both clan structure and religion. Many academics have commented and written about the religious aspects of totems. Tyler opined totemism emerged in the form of religious worship and ancestor worship. Emil Durkheim took totemism as the most elementary form of religious life and suggested that it was the clan worshipping itself and the collective emblem of society, and worship of society is the source of totemism according to them. Australian Aborigines live in a small band. Each band is associated with the totem and believe that its ancestors have descended from back totem. They neither kill nor eat that totem. Emil Durkheim, since the Australian Aborigine or most primitive belief in totem must be most elementary form of religion. He further argues that when people worship their totem is sacred emblem that symbolizes their social identity, they are actually worshipping society. Herbert Risley pointed out in India, the religious aspect of totemism is almost dead to a considerable extent, and the social aspect is more operative. Most of the explanations in relation to the origin of clans among Ho, Munda and the Santhal conclude that totems originated out of necessity at a time when human help failed to provide required its relief. For example, Hansda clan with a totem duck, Pansia clan with a totem pigeon, etc. Marriage cannot be contracted among the male and the female of same totem because they are thought to have blood relationship. Fraser defined totemism as the relation between a group of people, species of natural or artificial objects. The objects are referred to as the totems of the various ethnic groups. You may define totemism as a system of both religion and social organization. As a religious structure, it illustrates the obsession of early peoples with their desire to establish a connection with significant items like animals, plant species, etc. To the group of people who revere these items as totems, killing or destroying them is forbidden. Instead, the communities perform rituals and ceremonies to increase the number of their totemic items. As a way of forming social groups, the totem objects are made a basis of the subdivision of the group into smaller units. To sum up this lesson, this lecture has made an attempt to introduce the concept of sacred religion. It is an approach which basically studies the sociology of religion. In understanding this perspective, we have discussed about the views on religion expressed by various scholars, then forms of religion in tribal as well as present societies. I hope you all must have enjoyed this session and it may enrich the knowledge on sacred religion. Dear learners, we will meet with another schedule. Thank you. All the best.